Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today is war number 6 of season 44, and first up here is Juggernaut, taking this with Sandman. And I've already taken this once this season, fairly easy fight. I just want to go to the special 3, spam heavies along the way, and just continue to do that rotation if necessary. The specials here doesn't really matter. I throw special 1, special 2, but I'm already doing pretty good damage, and Juggernaut is pretty friendly in throwing his specials in this match. And with the specials costing 50% less, that's kind of what you're looking for. I'm just going to continue with the heavies, and as you can see, I'm keeping relatively high health. Because of the tactic, the Incinerate's not doing any damage to me. I'm actually able to heal from willpower. Makes this fight fairly simple. And now I'm going to be able to trap him in the root, get off some decent heavy damage, at least 3. Then I'm going to try to push him to 2 bars and bait the special 2. And then go back into the relic, and I believe I do finish this with a special 2 at full health. Just got to bait his special. Oh, not quite. These fights can be a little bit long. I do know that I'm going to finish with full health though. It's fairly easy. We get out of that one, and next up here is Weapon X. And I was originally going to take this with Nimrod, but decided to switch to Lady Deathstrike for a fight I got coming up later on. And Lady Deathstrike was almost built to fight Weapon X. As long as you have the heal block up against a mutant, they can't go unblockable or unstoppable, and that is the problem with Weapon X. Lady Deathstrike is not immune to the Incinerate or the poison, but she does heal from the poison a bit, so it doesn't do a ton of damage. I just have to make sure I'm not hitting during the Incinerate phase. I just either want to parry or just dex heavies. His heavy is fairly easy to dex in the corner as well, so it's not that big of a deal. My rotation for Lady Deathstrike is do my combos ending in a medium to put the heal block on. Whether I do 5-hit combos or shorter combos, I just want to make sure I have that heal block on. And the indestructible triggering once I get to 1 bar power is kind of aggravating. Typically when I take the fight, or whatever, whoever's placed on this node, I try to plan it to where I don't need specials. But I figured that with Lady Deathstrike's rupture damage, it's not really going to matter much. The little 5 seconds of me not being able to do damage should be just fine. And I'm going to go ahead and throw the special 2 here and just hit into his block. Try to get a little opening while he's still during the poison phase. Trigger the indestructible again, and now we just wait. Throws the special, which is good. He kind of waits a minute after he throws it, bit of a delay. Now I just want to parry and then dex heavies in the corner. And now that it's back to the poison phase, I can get my opening. I'm gonna go into the special 2 here, and the fight's pretty much over at this point. Nothing a potion can't fix. It's a really easy fight. Lady Deathstrike is really safe there. And next up here in section 2, path 9, is Mojo. And I've taken this with Sandman before this season, and the plan is to just spam heavies and go into a special 3. Sometimes I worry too much about his power when I shouldn't. The power focus 2 node here does allow him to build power 60% faster up into 2 bars, but if you're spamming heavies and you can keep your wither up, you don't really have to worry about them actually going to a special 3 quickly. It can happen if you just continue to hit into them too much, but you can get away with a ton of hits. You don't want to deal with a bunch of specials, and in this fight I mess up the dex against Mojo. Usually the special 2 I can dex it fairly easy, and then with the special 1 I will usually dex the first hit and the last hit and let his tentacles, his feet or whatever, just eat that in the block. Not really worried about that too much. And as you can see, I'm still trying to build my heavy proficiency up to 10. Cannot wait for that buff, so it only has to be 5. And again, I fail on dexing special 2, but I'm not taking any damage from the degen. As you can see, I'm keeping up my debuffs on him, and I hold the special 3 a bit longer than I should have. I was free to throw it at any point, but I kind of waited a bit, and now I'm gonna throw it, and he's at 62% health. This is where the fight will go downhill for me. It becomes fairly easy. He's already lost 10% just on the special 3 itself, and now I can root him and do a couple heavies, and as you can see, he's not gaining any power, and I'm getting some big damage off there. It's the red numbers in the background that you really want to pay attention to when you're spamming those heavies. You will get some decent crits every now and again, but it's mainly the red numbers that you get in the background that are big. They'll get up into 20k range if you build up your heavy proficiency. And special 2 here is going to finish it off. And I don't even need to heal Sandman. I'm not using him from any more fights, so I'm fine with that. Next up here is Spot. Now I could have used Sandman for this fight, but I decided to go with Absorbing Man. And my plan in this fight is to just throw special 1s. You do get more damage if you build up to a special 3, but with Spot, you're going to have to do a lot of waiting, and you take the chance at losing your form, which is what gives you immunity to the shock and bleed. So you don't want to lose the form. As you can see here, he throws the special 1, just punish the last hit, trigger the untouchable, and this is the part where I have to wait. As you can see, my form is falling off at a pretty decent pace, and I have to wait to go back in and hit him. I try to be around 1 bar of power always, that way if my form does fall off, I can reactivate it with the special 1. And I just need to get him to throw a special 2 so that I can trigger the untouchable, but I go ahead and do it there with a basic hit, and I'm gonna try to bait the special 2 out so I can get some more opening. And as you can see, I have fallen out of form, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw that special 1, and if I breathe on him at this point, he goes to special 3 and I take a ton of damage that I'm just really not interested in. So that was a bit risky there, and now my plan is to go ahead and go back up to a special 1. Right after I bait his special 2 here, I'll trigger the untouchable, and it's just a long fight, but as you can see, I'm at almost full health. It's fairly safe and easy fight with Absorbing Man, even with class disadvantage. There's no problems with this fight, and I'm taking a ton of chip damage, but this is mainly my fault because I'm not using my special 1 for the opening. And I go ahead and throw it there, and I hit his block. That's a big mistake. You really don't want him to gain spots, but it's going to be fine. I'm going to go ahead and use the relic and use that to go my heavy into special 1 to get my form refined, and 1 intercepted the medium, and he's out of there. And the next fight I have here is this Baron Zemo, and this is on the close encounters regeneration, where if you stay close to him for too long, he'll gain a regen. So this fight is kind of tricky. I do not recommend taking this unless you're extremely comfortable in the Absorbing Man versus Zemo matchup, which I am. You want to get intercepts with Absorbing Man, mainly light, to pause his form, but I really kind of freestyled in this. I was using my medium to intercept and throwing special 1s. I do not think that throwing special 1s is the best rotation for this fight. The best rotation, in my opinion, is to go to the special 3, and then at that point you'll get your big damage. But he is throwing his special 1s, which is all I can ask for. I am at full health, but this fight is going to be quite long just with me not having a set plan going in. So if you do take it, just go to special 3, and then you'll get your big damage from that. Make sure that you back up from him. You will see throughout the fight where he gets a regen, and I try to back up so that way it'll fall off, and sometimes he stacks 2, and then that's what makes the fight go a long ways. But I'm gonna go ahead and speed through the rest, and then I'll pick back up towards the end. And as you can see, that's a really long fight. It's not really the best matchup or best counter for that fight, but Absorbing Man can get it done if you play the node just right. And next up here is Toad, and this is High Energy Diet, and this is the reason that I switched from Ultron to Lady Deathstrike on the Weapon X fight, was for this fight here. Going into this fight, my plan is to make sure I do medium ending combos to keep the heal block up. It is going to get rid of the reinvigorated unblockable node, which allows him to go unblockable from stacking regions, as Toad will do. And he also, his regen is quite powerful when you have him backed up in his corner, so you do want to keep that heal block up anyways, but the heal block actually prevents him from going unblockable from the regions. And the physical damage of the ruptures really helps you to get this fight down. Knowing that I was not going to be able to throw specials was not a problem at all, due to the fact that when you gain a buff, it basically power drains you. As you can see, my power is continuously dropping. But this fight is fairly easy. There's no worries here. Just going to keep hitting into him. And he's throwing his special ones, which is my preferred special to bait out of Toad, just because it's faster to me. You only have to back up for a second. You don't have to wait for the projectile that is on his special 2. Either one is fine though. Get that fight down and done. 100% health. And my last fight here is Gore. And this is on the Hazard Shift Conflictor. It's the mini shared fight, and I didn't actually catch the nodes there, but my plan in this fight is to just play it stun immune, so that way Conflictor doesn't really come into play. Any sort of vulnerabilities and stuff that you see that I'll get in this are all passives and won't necessarily trigger the node. So I want to bait special ones. His regen is a pain, but on this node it doesn't get too out of hand. Gore's usually a good placement where they have increased regeneration, but he's being just the defender I need him to be for this fight. I just want to keep going, whether it's light intercepts or just hitting him during normal hits with the hazard shift to pause my form. I want to go to a special 3 and the fight's downhill after that. He does kind of get stingy at times, but if I hit him in the block, it's not really going to matter. Go ahead and get that special 1 baited out of him. I'm going to go to special 3 here. And this is where my big damage will come from. And I usually he'll be at 1 bar. Yeah, he'll throw it right away. So that's quite nice that the AI was cooperative, especially after a special 3. And as you can see here, his health is just falling right off. Like he's not even a 7-star. It's a fairly easy fight, as long as you can get him to throw those special 1. Special 2 is just not a good time. And you can see here I'm still doing good damage, and special 1 get him backed up in the corner. He's a bit stingy right here, but as you can see, I crit through the block for 18k in the red. So just keep hitting him a couple more times and the fight's done. And that's all the fights I have for this war. We did unfortunately lose this one. That's the halfway point, and we're at 4-2, so we have plenty of room to improve and carry on throughout the season. If you enjoyed today's video, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Until next time, Sith out.